Right, guys, I'm gonna do a video about this one because I just think I'm not going to fit this all in a little post. Okay, I just want to give you a quick little overview of BZT. Now, I do see a lot of other wannabe chartists and stuff talking about it. You've got to be very, very careful who you listen to. There's a lot of seemingly reputable chartists out there who I don't even know if they can actually read a chart properly, let alone the back of a fucking cereal packet or anything else. All right. Now, I just want to run through this very, very quickly. I'm not going to be using anything too in depth because I want people to understand it. I'm going to be using some very simple indicators and whatnot. I'll give you an idea of why I really think BZT is going to bang. I've just got a feeling this is going to absolutely rock it. Again, a little bit of intuition, instinct, or whatever what you want to call it. Obviously, some charting, some of the fundamental side of it. Although I'm not going to go into that, you can do your own due diligence on that. But look, let's just go for a rundown of obviously what happened last year. Now, BZT has been in a big ass downtrend for some time. I mean, look, this is on the weekly chart. I mean, let me scale out of this bad boy. I mean, look at this. You've been in a downtrend for 10 years and it's fucking significant as well. Now, we are coming to the end of the downtrend. There's no doubt about that. I mean, look at all this fresh volume coming in. I know the market has completely changed pace since last year. There's a lot of new people coming into the market, bringing fresh volume. Obviously, with the whole COVID scenario and the market crash, you know, I mean, you name it. A lot of the market conditions have changed. Now, I'm not going to go into the history of BZT because I don't really know a huge amount about it. So I'm not going to completely talk shit. But I would imagine a lot of this downtrend, the same as a lot of stuff on AIM, is dilution and lots of other things. You know, things not coming to fruition and whatever else. So that's like one of the main reasons for this, I would imagine, and without looking into it, for this big downtrend. Over here, you've got fresh volume coming in and a huge amount of fresh volume. Now, last year, I remember, because I was part of the trade myself, BZT did get a lot of interest. Now, I think on the daily, you had your golden cross. I mean, it's not significant because it's a little bit choppy here, all right? But you did have the golden cross. You had the 50 coming up under the 200 period moving average. There's your 50 in red, crossing up under the 200, which is the standard bearer for the golden cross, all right? And that did kick off the uptrend. Now, there's a lot of people touting BZT at the time. I probably did a little bit of that myself because I sensed this was going to happen. I think I was probably calling in around here saying it was going to take off, which it did. Now, obviously, this is very illiquid. You're only talking about a £10 million market cap company, all right? So it's a very illiquid stock. And that's why it doesn't take a lot of money to move the price, which is why things like this happen. Now, I know you're still in the explorative stages of the company. You're still going around trying to find copper discoveries and whatnot, and there are other interests in various projects with ones in the Philippines and stuff. And again, it drew a lot of interest, a lot of speculative interest last year, which is what caused this. Now, a lot of the newbies would have got absolutely pummeled in this. I mean, you're talking a day. These are daily candles, right? So, but 3 days to move from here to here, which is like, you know, almost 300%, and back down. I mean, 3 days, that's not a lot of time for something to move 300% and almost crash back. And no doubt, a lot of people probably bought here and all throughout this area and probably got rinsed. A lot of people probably didn't hold. I mean, you've got a 5-month pullback here. I would imagine a lot of the new people wouldn't have held. Probably some people went all in. I know a lot of people were pissed off, but it is what it is. You know, you live and you learn. You either take profits or you hold. You know, if you've got conviction in the company, you hold. And again, you need to buy into stuff slowly. You need to build your position. You don't just bang massive buys in, you know, of what people would say was the spike. But the reality is, at the time, I mean, if you know charting and you understand charting, I mean, look, you've gone right into the 200 weekly moving average. Now, the 200 period moving average on the weekly is significant resistance. You're not going to, when you're coming up from this level and a big overextended move like this, you're not going to, or very rarely, are you going to blast through the 200s. You're just not going to do it. On top of that, you've got historical price resistance in here. So people would have been selling naturally in this area. There's probably still sell orders here from all those years ago, no doubt, floating around in the market. So when the price gets into this zone, I mean, you're not going to, this is a profit taking area. You don't buy this area. This is the area that you sell, especially, like I said, when you're on an overextended move. So again, newbies probably got absolutely fucking totaled here. But again, if you learn a little bit and you understand charts and the rest of it and a few of the simple things, you probably wouldn't have got totaled. Anyway, now here we are back. We've had the pullback. We've had the pullback into significant support. Not only have you found support on the weekly 50 here, again, you're going to find support because they're always going to run pretty close together on the daily 200, both significant areas of support, and you found it. You've had the bounce, you've had the pullback and the retest, and you've had the move up. Same on the weekly, you've had the bounce, and now you're going to have the pullback. Whenever you break resistance, you pull back to support, all right? This is why price kind of, it's not linear. Price moves aren't linear. You're going to move like this. You break resistance, you pull back to resistance and test it as support. When you've got that support, then you move up. You break resistance, you pull back, you find support, you know, that's how you move. But obviously if you don't find support, then you're going to come back to the next level of support. Okay, and that's all you're ever doing. You're just ping-ponging to resistance and support. The price moved, people took profits at resistance, you pulled back. Look, you can see some volume coming in here. People probably thought we were going to get some support here of the 20 period. We didn't get it. And you can tell we didn't get it anyway because you've got the 10 crossing down through the 20, which is obviously like a bearish cross here, so no doubt. And again, low volume. You've got the kind of decline in volume. I wouldn't have bought here unless this volume really started picking up on subsequent candles and you found some support. I wouldn't have bought. But anyway, you got the pullback. Now, this is the big thing. Last week, I saw Colin talking about some very serious news for BZT. Not only the Philippines lifted the mining ban or whatever the fuck's going on there, ask someone else because I'm not talking about fundamentals. Obviously, a lot of the explorative stuff they're doing, they're hitting some really good finds, some potentially really good finds. You've got copper absolutely flying, okay? And obviously a huge copper play, let alone other things. Copper is at, these are the copper futures, all right? You've got copper at, I mean, you're coming up to a 10-year fucking high. This is huge. Copper's in a huge amount of demand, okay? Copper shortages. You've got the whole push of the electric vehicles, which are just eating through copper like no one's business. And there we are, BZT, little piddly £10 million market cap company with potentially a huge copper discovery on their lap. Even Goldman Sachs was saying any significant copper discovery at this point could blow up. And we are ready to rock. You've had your big move, you've had your pullback, you've got the weekly 200 period moving, weekly 200 period moving average coming down here. Now this is the last big resistance. And I think once we cross this, and you'll see it the same for any stock, you pull up any stock chart, when you break the weekly 200, I mean, you're unshackling the price, and this baby can fucking move, and it can move big. And when I'm talking about big, I'm talking like this, like no joke, this stock could 10 bag. In fact, I'm almost certain this stock is going to 10 bag at some point. Now, you can obviously see, interestingly, if I go higher on the monthly, like this area here, so you're right, look, you're right up in that sort of, that 2p zone. Look, all in and around here, you're going to be getting, this is going to be resistance, right? And I've just got a feeling we're gonna fucking blow up right into here in the coming months probably. You've had your move, you've had your pullback on declining volume. This is people profit taking, all right? When you're pulling back on declining volume, especially after a move like this on big volume, it's showing this is people profit taking. This isn't necessarily people savagely selling off their positions, all of their positions. These are people that have built positions, and as the price is pulling back and breaking support and pulling back, people are just selling off bits of their position, and boom, you've got support, you've got the big volume candle coming in, you're breaking the average volume, the setup looks ridiculous, you're about to break resistance on price resistance on the monthly, which is here. No doubt we'll get that as we're coming to the end of the month. You break through here, you're going straight to the weekly 200. You break the weekly 200 and you're going to fucking move. I mean, you've already broken a lot of resistance here with these big candles. You've pumped up through this zone, which would be an area of resistance historically, and you've already broken it. You know, so this is going to be much easier. This zone's going to be much easier to pass through on a second attempt. You've got the big fucking momentum sweep here, which has been, what, like 5 months in the making. You had the crossover here, you've had the pullback on the MACD, and you've got the big momentum sweep about to come into play here. You've also got the cross above the zero, all right? When you get a MACD momentum sweep cross above the zero, that's really bullish. And if you go back historically, I mean, look, you haven't had it. This, you can't really call this. This is just choppy shit. You've had no proper momentum sweep above the zero for fucking years. And yet here we are with all this fresh volume. The MACD is looking sweet. The histogram's about to flip. It's about to cross. You're above the zero. You've got the fresh volume. You've got all the new RNSs last week. You've got copper flying at an all-time high. You've got the Philippines lifting the ban on mining and all those projects. And we are literally tucked in under the last real resistance that we've got. You've got the golden cross on the weekly, which is probably going to print sometime mid-August, I'd imagine. Obviously, if we move more bullishly through this, the cross is going to happen sooner. Now, I've just got a feeling this is going to fucking rip. Well, if we don't break this week, you could have a little pullback here. You know, if you don't break the resistance, you could pull back again. You're going to find support, catch support on the moving averages, and you're going to, you know, you could move. But I just think any day now, this is going to absolutely fucking rip. Let's go to the really high time frames and have a look. I mean, there you go. Kind of speaks for itself, really, doesn't it? You got the 8. I think that's the 10. Sorry. No, it is the 8. So this is the 3 month. This is a very high time frame, right? You've got a 3 month. These are each one of these candles is 3 months. You can see we've been held down by this 8 period moving average on the 3 month chart for fucking ages. And this is the first time, coming up to the first time. I know we've got some days left. You're breaking. Look, you can see we've got rejected here. We went all the way above it and we closed just on the line. So the sellers were selling right down into it. You can see the significance of this sort of stuff. And obviously we tried again to break it. We got pulled under. We've actually come above it. Now I've just got a feeling the minute we cross above here on the higher time frames again, you haven't had a cross. You haven't had a cross above it for fucking ages. BZT is showing at the moment all the signs of going into an extremely bullish part of the stock's life. And again, just across the board with the metals, this whole metal super cycle, copper shortages, copper being in demand, tiny market cap company on the exploration side, then having some massive hits on the historical sites, good grades, you know, they're not Chilean mines, they're mines with good jurisdictions and legislation. This is gonna fucking bang. You can laugh at me if it doesn't bang in the coming days, but I reckon coming in the next week, you know, if it isn't days away, we're talking weeks. I don't even think we're talking months. This is going to absolutely fucking rocket. So I don't think there's much buying opportunity left for this. I think this is set up to go. You could probably squeeze another 10% out of the price if you're lucky. I know BZT's got a shit spread on it, but it is what it is. I'm buying in big, and I'm fucking buying in big right fucking now. If you don't like it, fuck off.